Welcome back to the Gentleman's Gazette. Today we will be discussing sneakers and hybrid shoes and whether or not a gentleman should even be wearing them. And when you saw the title and clicked on the video, I'm sure some of you were probably holding your breath, wondering where in the world I was going to be going with the topic of sneakers. Well, don't pass out. Stay with us, watch the video, and you might learn a few things about sneakers and whether or not you should introduce them into your wardrobe. Now first, let's figure out what constitutes as a sneaker. Now sneakers are often called a number of different things. You may have heard them called trainers, runners, gym shoes, or even tennis shoes. Now sneakers typically refers to a type of shoe that's very flexible with a rubber sole, some kind of a synthetic material with rubber or even leather on the upper portion of the shoe. Now depending on your location in the world, you may have heard sneakers referred to some of the following different names. Here in the US, for slang, sometimes people might even call them kicks. Now across the pond in Great Britain, you might hear them being called trainers. In Canada, you might hear them called runners or gutties. Now in the warm land of South Africa, you might hear them referred to as talkies. In Nigeria, as canvas shoes. And in Greece, sportex. Personally, I'm going to definitely start adopting gutties and talkies. Now looking at the history of sneakers, we see that back in the 18th century, people used to wear plimsolls. These were shoes with a rubber sole that were not the greatest of design. They actually couldn't even be differentiated between left or right. Plimsolls were typically worn by students during their physical education courses. The term plimsoll comes from the resemblance of the plimsoll line on a ship's hull. Around 1892, we see that the U.S. Rubber Company made a much more comfortable option, with rubber soles and a canvas upper portion. These were Keds. The very first basketball shoes were designed by Spalding in as early as 1907. In 1917, Henry Nelson McKinney, an advertising agent, was the very first person we see using the term sneakers. The shoes grew in popularity and were gaining the name sneakers because they were so quiet, one couldn't hear you sneak up on them while you wore them. Now we see in 1917 when Converse was working on a basketball shoe, and then a redesign around 1922, Chuck Taylor then asked the company to create something that offered more flexibility and a little bit more support. They became known as Chuck Taylor All-Stars. Sneakers continued to grow in popularity and then went international in 1924. Adolf Adi Dassler of Germany was one person who created some shoes which he named after himself, Adidas. Adolf worked on his idea at his mother's home in Bavaria. And a fun little side fact, Adi's brother worked on and created another shoe brand which is quite popular these days, Puma. Now sneakers were primarily used for sporting events up until the 1950s. This is when we started to see a shift where people started to wear sneakers as a more fashionable statement. We see James Dean wearing sneakers in the movie Rebel Without a Cause. NBA legend Michael Jordan helped skyrocket sneakers to new heights. He signed a contract to wear the most popular sneaker ever created, Nike Air Jordans. Over the years, brands have continued to push the rules of fashion using different color combinations, designs, and functions in their shoes. These days, we see sneakers being made for virtually any kind of occasion: walking, skateboarding, running, many others. We also are seeing a greater amount of hybrid shoes being created. For example, the Cole Haan dress shoe that happens to have a Nike rubber sole. Now, should a gentleman even be wearing sneakers? Well, as long as the shoes are being worn at the correct time and in the correct place, it is acceptable to occasionally wear sneakers. Now, an incorrect time to be wearing sneakers, for example, trying to wear running shoes to a job interview, or trying to wear basketball shoes with a suit. A better way to use these shoes would be to wear the correct sporting shoe when you are playing that particular sport. In a more casual setting, you could also wear some low-profile sneakers with shorts in the summer, or perhaps with a pair of chinos in cooler months. Now, should a gentleman even be trying to wear hybrid shoes? Hybrid shoes tend to fall into the category of trendy. Now, of course, you should feel comfortable going ahead and occasionally trying this type of shoe if you would like, but please know it will not stand the test of time as much as a classic shoe would. It would be a better use of your money to buy a few pair of versatile sneakers which are going to serve you in a multitude of different occasions. Now, we might be wondering, how do we properly pair sneakers with casual attire? The one big thing you want to watch out for is to ensure that the sneakers you're choosing to wear match the style of clothing and the location in which you might be going. Now, for example, it would be best to make sure that you're not trying to take a multi-mile hike across the mountaintop in your expensive leather sneakers. Instead, Opt for something that's going to be easy to clean, offers great comfort and great support. So we all know that sneakers are going to work wonderfully for a casual setting, but what happens if you happen to be in a more professional setting? Could you also adopt sneaker wear? Now this can get a little bit tricky. Does your work environment allow you to be able to wear sneakers? And if so, what's the dress code like in terms of what colors you can and can't wear? Assuming you are able to wear sneakers in the workplace, the one thing you want to make sure of is that your sneakers are complementing both you and your outfit, but are not demanding all of the attention. For example, opt for a sleek, low-profile design. Perhaps something that has a low top style with neutral colors, as opposed to a high top shoe with a thick sole. Ultimately, the cleaner the design, the better. Now, if you've ever been shoe shopping, especially in the sneaker section, you know that there is a wide array of different price points in which you can find sneakers. Now, are expensive sneakers acceptable in all situations? The answer is no. The style and design will be what dictates a shoe's worthiness to be worn in various settings. It's important to remember that a high price point does not equate to a high variety of different options for outfits. Now, some more moderately price pointed and even high price pointed unconventional sneaker options include the following brands. We have Yeezys, Nike Air Jordans, Y3, as well as the Ultra Boost by Adidas. Now, extremely well-known brands that people all over the world seem to like to shop from are as follows. We have Reebok, K-Swiss, Adidas, New Balance, and many, many others. How do you decide what brand to wear and when to wear certain styles of sneakers? For example, are you looking for a sneaker that's going to allow you to wear it for a multitude of different occasions, or were you looking for something that's going to allow you to run track at your local gym? Knowing the occasion in which you plan on wearing your sneakers will help you decide which ones you should be wearing. We also see some different style options depending on people's personality as well as their age. Now, men in the age group of teen to early 20s often have a lot of flexibility with what kind of shoes they choose to wear. They might still be in school and they're probably not super settled into their career choice yet. These men can choose from a wide variety of sneaker options, from the Nike SB or something more sleek and professional. For example, a pair of leather sneakers from Oliver Cable or Greats the Royal. Now, depending on the individual style preferences, men in their mid-20s into about age 35 might want to try something like a clean classic pair from K-Swiss, or something more low profile and comfortable like a pair of Vans for when you are out and about around town. Both of these brands, for example, offer a great deal of support without charging excessive amounts of money. Now, for men in their mid-30s into mid-40s, a great shoe option that offers a lot of comfortability would be a sneaker from Saucony. For a more upscale approach to your overall outfit, try wearing a leather sneaker option from a place like Hugo Boss. Now, for men who are in the 45 and older crowd, let's say you're going out for a good workout, try a pair of Nike trainers. They're well structured and offer a great deal of support when you're at the gym. If you're someone who likes to lift, go ahead and try the Converse Chuck Taylor, as the flat bottom helps keep you extremely structured and flat to the ground. If you enjoy a lengthy run, go ahead and try Asics. These are just suggestions. Please know that any age group should feel comfortable trying any of these styles. Now, just to recap, sneakers have been around for quite some time, and ever since they've arrived, we've seen their wide array of different styles and functions grow. Ultimately, it is appropriate for a gentleman to wear sneakers. It's just important to remember when and where you choose to wear them. Age, physical needs, and style preferences will guide you on what type of sneakers you should be wearing. Now, it's best to always keep it classic and timeless when selecting various sneaker styles in your wardrobe. Once you've got the foundation down for your sneaker options in your wardrobe, then you can start to add a little bit of an oddball color or two into the mix. And remember that in a formal setting, a classic dress shoe is always going to serve you better than a sneaker would. Today I'm wearing a single-breasted, bright blue peak lapel suit jacket. I have on a crisp white dress shirt, and I have this wonderful tan-colored linen pocket square from Fort Belvedere. The pocket square pairs wonderfully against the pants I chose to wear, which have kind of a nice cream color to them as well. And I'm finishing off the look with a navy blue leather pair of sneakers from an Italian brand called Velasca. The cream pants offer a nice way to break up the two different shades of blue between the shoes and my jacket, while still remaining in the smart casual category. Because the Italian sneakers happen to be a neutral color of navy and also leather, they work on a variety of different outfits, including this one.